Talk about another close call at Midway Airport. The crew on a Southwest flight had to make a last-minute move to avoid a collision with another jet that somehow ended up on the runway.
And we can see it on the video. Fortunately, though, no one was injured, and the pilot was able to safely land after initiating a go-around. NBC5's Courtney Sisk has much more on this close call.
A close call caught on camera. It happened just before 9 a.m. Tuesday as a Southwest plane was landing at Midway Airport, just as a flex jet pulled out in front of it on the runway.
Tower Southwest 2504, how'd that happen?
The Southwest pilot questioning how that was allowed to happen. Air traffic control radio offers some insight as operators give instructions to the business jet pilot.
Flex jet 560, turn left on runway 4 left. Cross runway 31 left and hold short of runway 31 center.
Right, left on 4 left, cross 22 or 13 center, flex jet 560.
Flex jet 560 negative. Cross runway 31 left, hold short runway 31 center.
It's not clear why the jet crossed into the Southwest Airlines path at 31C.
Flex jet 560, hold your position there.
Hold position, flex jet 560.
Flex jet 560, your instructions are to hold short of runway 31 center.
The near miss comes amid flight fears plaguing the aviation industry.
So striking video, right? I mean, it's very disconcerting to see that video.
Eric Jones is the associate dean at the Lewis University Department of Aviation.
There's a lot happening. It's a very animated space right now. We've got several incidences that are back to back.
Jones says while the incident is concerning, flying is still one of the safest modes of transportation.
You're statistically safer getting on an airplane than any other form of transportation, bus, train, any car, by a long shot. So I am still very confident in the aviation ecosystem.
A FlexJet spokesperson says they are aware of the occurrence and adhere to the highest safety standards and are conducting a thorough investigation. Courtney Sisk, NBC5 News.
Tonight we are hearing from Southwest passengers after a dramatic close call at Midway Airport this morning.
Video really stunning to watch here. You see that 737 just about to touch down on the runway, but quickly got airborne once again to avoid a Challenger business jet that somehow strayed onto the runway.
And tonight, we want you to take a look at the flight tracker data that shows just how close those two planes came to disaster when the Southwest crew made that critical go-around maneuver.
NBC5's JC Navarrete with more on this latest aviation incident in the U.S.
We were about to land. It went up, and everyone was kind of looking around. And they're like, oh, did we just go back up?
New insight tonight from those inside that Southwest flight. It's the latest incident rattling American flyers. Southwest Flight 2504 on its final approach. About to touch down, it was forced to quickly pull up as a small business jet rolls right into its path at Midway Airport.
It was surreal.
A clear view of just how close this was with this animation. The Southwest flight in orange making the split-second decision to abort the landing. Tonight, the FAA saying the business jet entered the runway without authorization.
FlexJet 560, your instructions are to hold short of runway.
FlexJet saying it's investigating and adhering to the highest safety standards. And Southwest speaking out, saying their crew followed safety procedures, circled the airport, and landed safely.
We were so oblivious to what was happening.
Many not realizing the crisis averted beneath them until watching the video on social media. The latest in a slew of airline mishaps, from the deadly crash that killed 67 over Reagan National Airport to the deadly jet crash in Philadelphia and the crash landing in Toronto. Aviation expert Joe Schwieterman with DePaul University understands the new skepticism and concern from American flyers.
Midway is sometimes called the busiest square mile in aviation.
For Schwieterman, the more airports take on between commercial and private flights, the harder it is to keep things running smoothly and safely.
You do wonder if something has changed in the air traffic system that we're missing. We don't know. But this has been a pretty tough period for aviation.
There were no injuries to any crew members or passengers. In the meantime, the NTSB and the FAA say they'll continue to investigate. Reporting from Midway, JC Navarrete, NBC5 News.
Thank you so much, JC. Tonight, NBC5 investigates the number of go-arounds at the nation's airports. This is a routine event when pilots break off their landing approach because of an unsafe condition.
Now, the most recent last-second maneuver, the one you're seeing here on this video at Midway Airport in Chicago, was where a Southwest Airlines passenger jet was forced to abort a landing yesterday and make a sudden climb skyward. Investigative reporter Chuck Goudie joins us now with details, with a growing concern, this growing safety concern about this, something, you know, you don't really think about until you start seeing this.
Well, the video is pretty potent. It sure is.
It is.
What happened at Midway Airport is known as a near miss in the aviation business, but you only have to see this video to realize the Midway occurrence is better called a near collision. By whatever name, though, these incidents are frightening for passengers, a challenge for crew members, and are happening more often, according to data gathered by NBC Chicago.
Cross hold short hotel, flex jet 560.
Flex jet 560, your instructions are to hold short of runway 31 center.
Control tower recordings tonight point to a confused cockpit crew on the small private jet, a flex jet crew that then ignored verbal directions and, according to the chairman of the National Transportation Safety Board, made a near catastrophic crossing of an active runway, causing the inbound Southwest plane to abort landing and go airborne again, a move known as a go-around.
It's one of the first things we teach when we're teaching someone how to land.
Dr. Ryan Phillips, chairman of the aviation department at Suburban Lewis University, says go-around ability is a good thing that Southwest executed well.
Similar to when you're driving your car down the road and something runs out in front of you, an animal or whatever, you'll veer to one side or the other to avoid that. A go-around is essentially that. You're avoiding a potential hazard on the runway.
The Federal Aviation Administration even has a ranking system for runway incursions, such as the Midway incident, increasing severity, with Category A a serious incident in which a collision was narrowly avoided. NBC5 Investigates has found the most recent FAA data revealing about a 7.5% increase in aircraft go-arounds for all reasons, including runway near collisions. Such go-around safety maneuvers happen regularly, once in every 250 landings, according to FAA data. The agency currently operates a runway incursion mitigation program at more than 100 top U.S. airports. Oddly, though, Midway is not part of the program.
It's essentially a mile square. It's surrounded by neighborhoods. And the runway configuration there is unique, where you have to cross other runways to get to the one that is active.
FAA officials tonight tell NBC5 Investigates that the special runway incursion program is in place at O'Hare and those other U.S. airports because they have had multiple close calls, or that they average one incursion per year. Midway was recently audited for the program, but that was before yesterday's near collision. So with what happened yesterday, Midway, you would have to think, would be on the short list once again.
You would wonder.
You're paying close attention to that. I want to ask you about the investigation. Of course, it's ongoing. We don't know exactly what led up to those pilots in the flex jet being on the runway, but of course, a lot of the attention is on that. What kind of repercussions could come out of this incident?
Well, it's a whole range of things. Once the investigation is done, the cockpit crew on the flex jet, they certainly could go through re-education. The President of the United States and his Secretary of Transportation have already called for license suspensions, but it's a little early for that to actually be put in place. But it's a whole range of things. Clearly, something will happen from this.
And the lessons to be learned, how can we avoid this ever happening again?
That's the end game always.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate it.